Away from that story, let's look at one of our headline stories. And the 5-member committee set up by the Electoral Commission to collate views on the way forward regarding the current voter register has submitted its report to the Commission. The report was presented on Monday, December 21. A senior official of the Commission has disclosed. Acting Public Affairs Director of the Commission, Christian Osopari, says the Commission will study the report and make a decision as soon as practicable. He made this known at the Inter-Party Advisory Committee (IPAC) meeting on Tuesday, December 22. Now, this afternoon, I do have on the phone line, that is the Acting Director, Public Affairs of the Electoral Commission, Christian Osopari. Good afternoon, sir, and thanks for your time. Can you hear me, Mr. Osopari?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for your time. Now, 29,000 polling stations agreed by IPAC for the 2016 general elections instead of the initial 30 due to the budgetary constraints. Now, how worrying is this?
Well, unfortunately, your line is not very clear. But I suppose we're talking about the number of polling stations that will be used for the 2016 general elections.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody who followed elections 2012 would have noticed that during the elections there were some very long, winding queues at some of the polling stations, and the consequence of that was the late closure of polls at some of the polling stations. So when we initiated the reforms process, it was suggested that we should look at the number of voters in every polling station with a view to reducing the numbers at the polling station, so the processes could become quicker and probably post at the polling stations, even if not 5 o'clock, not too far after 5. So there was the suggestion that we reduce the number of voters in the polling station to a maximum of 800. On the basis of that, we did a calculation and came to the conclusion that we would need 30,000 polling stations across the country if we were to have the maximum of 800 in a polling station. So we discussed with IPAC at the last IPAC meeting. At the IPAC meeting, I suppose in September, and we agreed at the time that we would be working with 30,000 polling stations. But developments in recent past indicate that due to financial constraints, we will not be able to operate with the 30,000 polling stations as proposed. And so we are scaling down to 29,000 instead of the 30,000 that was originally proposed.
But is this development really disturbing, knowing that you had proposed 30 and now you have to cut it down?
Unfortunately, I have difficulty hearing clearly what you're saying. If you could come again, please. Hello.
Now, Mr. Parry, one of the questions that also came up during this is that initially was no verification, no vote, and now you're going to do the manual and also the electric verification. Does that mean that the issue about no verification, no vote is totally out now?
Yes, if you recall in 20,000, there was a policy of no verification, no vote.
Yes.
If somebody went to the polling station and his name was in the register, but the person's fingerprints could not be verified by the biometric verification machine, the person was turned away, he was not allowed to vote. That was the policy of no verification, no vote. A few people were disenfranchised as a result of the implementation of that policy. Since 2012, there have been allegations that it is not right legally that people who are genuinely on the register should be disenfranchised on the basis of they not being able to be verified by the device. And so it was suggested that a means of identifying people who could not be verified by the verification machines should be used so that such people will be allowed to vote. Let us understand that the first requirement for a person to vote is that the person's name must be on the voters register. So if your name is on the voters register, you go to the polling station, you tender your ID card, we look at the name reference list, your name is on that list, and then we refer you to the verification table. We check for your name in the register, your name is there in the register, and then your barcode, the barcode against your name in the register is also scanned, and your photograph pops up indicating that yes, indeed, you are truly a registered voter.
Okay.
And then you put your hand on the device, and the device is not able to recognize your fingerprint because between the time you registered and the time of voting, something may have happened to your fingers. And so it's not able to read. And on the basis of that, you turn away. We don't think it's a very good thing to do. We have a duty to ensure that people who are genuinely registered are not disenfranchised.
Okay.
And so the suggestion is that there should be a way of verifying people manually.
Now,
So
if I could catch you there and move on to the voter register and regarding the reports that has been presented, is there a likely possibility?
I don't know, there is something wrong at your end. I can barely hear what you say.
Can you hear me now, Mr. Parry?
I think it's better now.
Now, regarding the voter register, which you've just touched on briefly, and not disenfranchising voters, let's move to that specifically. Is there going to be an amendment of the register? Is the register going to be cleaned, knowing that it hasn't been presented to the Electoral Commission? Although you're saying that you're not going to touch on it till you go through.
Let me hope that I heard you well, but I suppose you're talking about the voters register and what we're doing about it. Hello?
Yes, that's it.
Yes, I want to confirm that the panel that was engaged by the Commission to look at issues about the voters register submitted its report on the 21st of December. The Commission will need some days to study the report and then make a decision on the voters register. We indicated in the release yesterday that as soon as a decision is made, we will communicate that to the public. As we speak now, no decision has been made yet.
Okay.
And so I'm unable to say whether there is going to be a replacement, a cleaning, an auditing, or whatever. Let us wait until the Commission has studied the report and then to make its decision, and we will let the public know.
Okay, thank you very much. I've been speaking with Christian Owusu Parry, the Acting Director, Public Affairs of the Electoral Commission.